I mean, the truth is always good. The truth is always good for the soul. You know, what's done in the dark will come to light.
Ice Cube just dropped some jaw-dropping claims that could shake Hollywood to its core. The straight-outta-Compton legend, famous for speaking his mind no matter the fallout, stunned fans during a recent live Q&A with confessions that had people's jaws on the floor.
And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of it.
Sources who allegedly tuned into the stream say the rapper-turned-movie star unleashed raw truths about the dark side, inside parts of the black entertainment scene, blasting the way some folks in the community secretly root against their own instead of lifting them up. He called out a culture where certain power players refuse to help rising stars, but will gladly tear them down the second they succeed. Ice Cube didn't hold back. He even dropped Shannon Sharpe's name as an example, exposing the people he claims are behind the nonstop attacks on the podcast host.
What I want them to do when I say work with us is to stop working against us. Stop doing that behind the scenes that we know you're doing.
Fans are now buzzing, asking, who exactly did Cube put on blast? Are these takedowns on Sharpe legit, or are they just pure sabotage to drag him down?
I mean, the truth is always good. The truth is always good for the soul. You know, what's done in the dark will come to light.
What's undeniable is that Shannon Sharpe and his hit show Club Shay Shay are under serious fire right now. The kind of coordinated heat you can't ignore. This shouldn't shock anyone, though. Cat Williams already warned him after his own explosive appearance on Club Shay Shay earlier this year. The comedian predicted almost like a prophet that Sharpe was about to have targets on his back. And now it's happening in real time. Even some guests who once lined up to be on the show are suddenly lobbing shots at Sharpe. Theories are swirling everywhere about why one of 2024's biggest podcasters is being dragged into this storm. And the answers might be wilder than anyone expected. Shannon's critics are coming in hot, accusing him of being nothing more than a fraud. They claim he's not really for the people at all, but only for the cash his interviews bring in. According to them, Sharpe puts his bank account before the black community, chasing clout and lining his pockets instead of uplifting the culture. To make it worse, they say he lets guests run wild with outrageous claims on his platform, without fact-checking or accountability, just to keep the buzz going. But others whisper something even deeper, that Shannon's skyrocketing fame has made him a threat. They believe the industry doesn't like seeing him rise so fast, so the plan is simple. Drag him down before he gets untouchable. And judging by the coordinated shots being fired at his brand, it looks like they're ready to do whatever it takes to wipe out his legacy. Sharpe himself has said his mission is to build a platform like BET, a real stage for black entertainers across America to shine. But instead of being celebrated, some see this vision as competition. And that's where the knives come out. They're striking where it hurts the most, going after his personal life. Rumors are now flying that Shannon is a closeted man, afraid to come out. A jab that's been weaponized against him in the nastiest way possible. Comedian Mike Epps was one of the first to take things there. On stage, he mocked Shannon's fashion choices, joking that the tight pants he wears prove he's part of the Rainbow Club. Epps even claimed Sharpe invited him to Club Shay Shay, but he turned it down because, as he put it, he didn't want Shannon staring at his balls during the interview.
Shannon Sharpe called me trying to do an interview. I said, no, Medea, I ain't doing no interviews. So you can sit across and look at my butt and sit down.
The jab was messy and personal. When asked why he was going after Shannon, Mike said it wasn't random. He claimed Sharpe tried to push Cat Williams into dissing other comedians during his viral appearance on Club Shay Shay. Mike, who worked with Cat on Friday After Next, said he had no beef with him and felt Sharpe was being corny, poking for drama just to get bigger numbers. In Mike's eyes, Shannon didn't care about whose name got dragged through the mud, as long as the clicks and cash kept rolling in. But Sharpe wasn't about to let that slide. In his fiery trademark style, he clapped back hard, flat out calling Mike a liar. Shannon insisted it wasn't him begging for the interview, but Epps who reached out first. He even dared Mike to repeat those same jokes to his face at NBA All-Star Weekend. By then, Shannon was heated, throwing down a challenge and making it crystal clear he wasn't backing down from the fight. Shannon knew he had the upper hand physically, bigger, stronger, and ready to crush Mike Epps if it ever came down to hands being thrown. That's why he boldly challenged him. confident he'd leave Epps in the dust if they ever squared up in the streets, but Mike wasn't backing off either. Instead of folding, he doubled down on his claims, repeating the same personal jabs, mocking Shannon by saying no straight man would ever call himself Shay Shay. Epps went further, questioning why Shannon wanted to fight him when plenty of other comedians had cracked jokes about him before. Then he flipped the script, admitting he was the one who slid into Shannon's DMs first, but claimed he only did it because Sharpe had already brought his name up during the viral Cat Williams interview. According to Mike, Shannon was trying to bait Cat into roasting him, but Cat refused to bite. When it came to Shannon's fight challenge, Mike fired back saying he'd see him at All-Star Weekend, but then he crossed the line, threatening violence if Shannon ever pulled up on him.
I don't do no fighting. So, there's only one other option. If you don't fight, you do blank, 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 blank.
Fans were quick to blast Epps for taking things that far, saying it was reckless to threaten a man's life over what started as petty jokes. Many thought a simple apology for the lies and insults would have shut the whole beef down. Others, though, felt Shannon didn't need to escalate either, that daring Mike to fight was unnecessary. To them, this feud was just extra drama that should have been squashed from the jump. Luckily, the heat finally cooled when fans begged both men to let it go. Shannon took the first step, going on social media to announce that he and Epps had decided to smoke the peace pipe. The two reportedly had a 15-minute private talk, hashing out their issues before Shannon posted a pic of them shaking hands. But here's where it got messy again. While Shannon went public with the reconciliation, Mike stayed quiet, leaving fans to wonder if he really wanted peace or if he was pressured into making nice. And just when people thought it was over, the storm kept brewing. Other comedians were already circling, ready to pile on. The next one to step up was Eddie Griffin, who couldn't resist taking shots at Shannon.
And Club Shay Shay. Yeah, Shay Shay. Yeah. Gay. I don't give a f. Gay. Sitting there with them tiny pants on.
Griffin claimed the former NFL star gave off rainbow vibes and even said he could tell Cat Williams looked uncomfortable during the Club Shay sit-down, accusing Shannon of being too in his face during the interview. Eddie Griffin didn't just throw shade, he went all the way in on Shannon. He mocked the way Sharpe sipped his drink during the interview, claiming it was proof of his sexuality. Then he crossed the line even further, saying Shannon's lips looked like those of a man who had gone down on another man. Fans were quick to point out the hypocrisy. Shannon hadn't actually thrown dirt on anyone during the Cat Williams interview. It was Cat making the bold accusations, yet somehow all the heat was landing on Shannon. Many watchers started connecting the dots. Maybe this wasn't about what Shannon said at all, but about the fact that he was the hottest podcaster out at the time. Everyone wanted clout, and the easiest way to grab headlines was to take a shot at him. When Shannon finally spoke up, his response shocked people with how calm and classy it was. He explained that he took his sister's advice, who reminded him of something their late grandmother always preached. You can't fight the devil every day or you'll never know peace. You've got to pick and choose your battles. Shannon said this wasn't one of those battles worth fighting. So instead of throwing fuel on the fire, he let Eddie's comments slide and stayed focused on growing his brand. Fans applauded the maturity, praising him for showing restraint when he easily could have gone off. They also noted that Eddie's name never even came up in the interview, making his attacks feel random and unwarranted. The backlash was so strong that people demanded Eddie apologize to Shannon for dragging him into mess he didn't start. At first, Griffin resisted, brushing it off like it was all just jokes, but the pressure kept mounting and eventually he caved. He released a public apology on social media, admitting he went too far. Eddie claimed he only meant his comments as comedy, not as an attack, and said he didn't want to cause more division in the black community. He urged others to be careful with their words and show more responsibility when speaking on big platforms. But the dust barely settled before another comedian jumped into the mix, Corey Holcomb. Out of nowhere, he ripped into Shannon after Sharpe criticized Kyrie Irving's performance in the NBA.
I think you don't like Kyrie because Kyrie is a heterosexual.
Instead of debating the basketball take, Holcomb went straight for the same low-blow insult others had already used, recycling the gay jokes and piling onto the smear campaign. Corey Holcomb didn't hold back. He accused Shannon of hating on Kyrie Irving just because he wasn't part of the club. Holcomb painted Sharpe as bitter, even claiming the ex-NFL star resented players who were faster and more talented, but that was only the beginning. Holcomb kept coming with more heat, dragging Shannon on another podcast, this time for not inviting him onto Club Shay Shay. According to Holcomb, Sharpe was ducking him because of a comment he once made about Shannon's friend who sat courtside with him at an NBA game.
I think the reason Shannon Sharpe is hands off with Corey Holcomb, because we joke about, you came to the Laker game, ain't prick.
None other than the infamous Mr. D. Print. Known online for flaunting his package at every chance, Mr. D. Print became the center of wild rumors that he was secretly Shannon's love interest. Fans were split. Some defended Shannon, saying D. Print was just a popular influencer and Sharpe was using his reach to boost the brand. They argued it was just smart marketing, nothing more. But others weren't buying it. They claimed Shannon knew exactly what came with associating with D. Print, who was already tied to Rainbow Club Whispers. Holcomb leaned into that angle, doubling down that Shannon was hiding something, and he didn't stop there. When a viral clip showed Shannon stepping out of a car, Holcomb pounced again with another round of insults, pushing the narrative even harder.
This shit shining, boy. Them people looking at you from the other side.
And it looks, they're like, ooh.
All them people who about to go buy some wine. Buy some wine.
I can't really, no, stop.
By then, Shannon had had enough and decided to address it all in a radio interview. Before firing back at Holcomb, he tackled the bigger rumors head on, starting with claims that he sold out his community. Shannon said it's the same tired playbook. Every time a black man starts stacking money and fame, people accuse him of turning his back on his own. Instead of celebrating his success, folks try to tear him down. Then he spoke on the gay rumors Holcomb and others kept throwing around. Shannon was clear he had no issue with the LGBTQ community and believed it was time the black community stopped looking down on people for their sexuality. He explained that's why these accusations hit so hard, because being labeled still carries stigma, especially in the culture. But he stood firm, saying everyone deserves acceptance, and he wasn't here to feed hate. Finally, Shannon turned his sights on Holcomb directly. In true Sharpe fashion, he cut deep, dismissing him as a comedian he didn't even respect.
There's this one guy. He wants to come on my show, but I don't have any respect for him, and I don't think he's funny.
Who that?
And so I don't really pay any attention to him, and he keeps it going.
Who that?
Flat out saying Holcomb wasn't funny. Fans loved it, praising Shannon for leveling up from his earlier clash with Mike Epps. This time, instead of wild energy, he dropped a sharp, mature clapback that made it clear he wasn't here for the nonsense anymore. Fans couldn't stop asking the same question. Why does it seem like black folks always go after their own when they start winning? Many felt the constant attacks on Shannon were petty and cruel, saying they wished his own people would stop tearing him down. And maybe those words started to sting. Like the others before him, Corey Holcomb eventually walked his comments back and apologized for his shots at Shannon.
Shannon, if I ever said something that went too far, I apologize, bro. I apologize. I don't want you to be all upset like that. I'm a silly motherfucker.
But then another mystery started creeping in. Why did so many of these comedians and public figures take a swing at Sharpe only to backtrack after he clapped back? To some, it started to look like something deeper was going on. A setup. Fans began whispering about an invisible hand, some hidden group pulling strings, or even paying people to take Shannon down. And that's when the big theory started making the rounds. Hollywood's elite were trying to crush Club Shay Shay before it got any bigger. Sounds wild at first, but conspiracy believers say the clues are all right there. Shannon's podcast isn't just a talk show, it's become a confessional booth where stars spill secrets about the darkest parts of the industry. Take Cat Williams' infamous interview earlier this year. That episode didn't just launch Shannon to new heights, it also put powerful people on notice. Cat sat on Shannon's couch and unloaded, talking about what he'd seen, what he'd been offered, and how 2024 was going to be the year the mask came off in Hollywood. He even dropped a shocking claim that Diddy allegedly offered him $50 million, not once, but 4 times, for access. And Cat refused every time. Cat warned Shannon on air that the dam was about to break, predicting that major players would be exposed and forced into investigations that could change the industry forever. He told Shannon straight up, race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. All these big deviants are catching heat in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. All lies will be exposed. And then it started to happen. In March, federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Miami and LA, seizing electronics and evidence tied to ongoing investigations. Sources close to the case say the feds are building something airtight, already questioning witnesses and accusers to piece together the truth. To some fans, this was proof that Cat's prediction wasn't just talk, it was a warning. And if Shannon's podcast is now the platform where these bombshells are dropping, it's not hard to see why the elites might want it shut down. Just a few weeks ago, Monique went on Club Shay Shay and told her own story, calling out what she says Tyler Perry and Oprah did to her behind closed doors. With every guest, Shannon's show is becoming more like a vault of confessions, and the more secrets get aired out, the more enemies he makes in high places. Monique didn't hold back. She accused some of the biggest names in Hollywood of blacklisting her, claiming they badmouthed her to producers whenever new roles came her way. She even revealed that director Lee Daniels once promised her a movie role, only for Oprah to allegedly step in and demand the part for herself. That shocking claim set the internet on fire, with gossip blogs running wild, and fans slamming Oprah for tearing down another black woman instead of uplifting her. And Monique wasn't the only one speaking out. Her words echoed what Taraji P. Henson had recently said about how Hollywood's elite treat black women in the industry. Taraji had just starred in The Color Purple, and during an interview, broke down in tears over how little she was paid. And the kicker, one of the producers of that very film was none other than Oprah Winfrey. In her SiriusXM interview with Oprah's best friend Gayle King, Taraji admitted she almost walked away from the film altogether because of the pay disparity. With raw emotion, she said, "I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, and getting paid a fraction of the cost." Her voice cracked as she added, "I'm tired of hearing my sister say the same thing over and over. You get tired. People say, you work a lot. I have to. The math ain't mathing. When you've got a whole team behind you, those big bills don't pay themselves." Henson's breakdown and Monique's testimony painted a damning picture of how Hollywood treats its black actresses, and fans couldn't help but notice the common thread. Oprah's name kept surfacing in these stories. This is exactly why so many believe the elites want Club Shay Shay silenced. Shannon Sharpe has turned his podcast into a safe space where guests feel free to expose hidden truths, and that threatens powerful interests. Conspiracy theorists argue that's why the attacks on Shannon feel so personal, especially the repeated digs at his sexuality. They claim the elites know that if they can frame him as part of the Rainbow Club, a chunk of the black community might boycott his platform altogether, since stigma around being gay is still strong in certain circles. But so far, Shannon has handled the chaos with surprising calm. He's pushed back when needed, but hasn't let the rumors derail his mission. If he stays steady, Club Shay Shay might just remain one of the only places left in Hollywood where the truth can break through the noise. And that wraps up today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And I'll catch you on the next one.
He called black women gold diggers. He told his own children, that he should be the last option that they are able to call whenever they need help. He didn't even want to pay for his own, I believe it was his daughter's wedding. He was a willing participant. He was a willing participant in every single thing that he did, and I don't feel sorry for him. The universe sent him signs. Cat Williams tried to warn him. He said it takes 2 weekends. Monique tried to warn him that him now, at the age of 57, and now he has lost his entire football career, basically because him and that girl had to settle for $23 million. His whole football career, he only made 22. So she got his entire Hall of Fame football career within, plus $1 million, within just a few short months.
Shannon Sharpe has to downgrade again, okay? So after losing his potential $100 million podcast deal over a 19-year-old white woman that came out to sue him alleging that he took her without her permission and she could not fight back. She said it was not BDSM. I told him he was supposed to wear a condom. He did not do it.
Shannon Sharpe really should have listened when Cat Williams and Monique warned him to steer clear of those so-called snow bunnies. Now look, he just dropped $50 million to quietly settle that lawsuit with his 21-year-old model girlfriend. And barely moments later, bam, he got hit with another blow, fired from ESPN and lost a whopping $100 million in the process. And Tyler Perry, he's reportedly about to hand over more than $200 million to his own accuser.
I'm calling out Tyler Perry Studios. I'm calling out Mark Swinton. I'm calling out Jeannie Harrison. I'm calling out Michael Robbins. I'm calling out Tyler.
This industry doesn't play when it comes to cashing in on scandal, especially when it's tied to reckless personal choices. Cat Williams sat down across from Shannon just last year, straight up dragging celebs who, in his words, sold their souls and wrecked their careers. And now look, Shannon landed right in the same hot seat, just like Tyler and all the others caught up in messy headlines. And let's not forget, Shannon's whole image took a huge hit months back when 21-year-old Gabriela Zuniga, his alleged side piece, slapped him with a $50 million lawsuit accusing him of serious misconduct. That case shook up social media and had people questioning everything about him. These high-powered names keep getting burned, but it's like they never learn. She says they had some kind of setup, a wild hours-long BDSM arrangement. But things allegedly went way too far when Shannon crossed the line and took full advantage of her trust. And get this, Shannon's pushing 60, while this girl was only 19 when all this started. That age gap alone had people side-eyeing the whole situation. According to her, the abuse didn't just stop in the bedroom. She says he manipulated and controlled her, even bringing up a time where he allegedly threatened to harm her just because she was sharing her live location with her own family. That's some seriously dark behavior. And when she tried to leave him after catching him cheating, no less, things reportedly took a terrifying turn. She claims he snapped and assaulted her multiple times, even saying it happened in both her front and back areas, one of those alleged back assaults. She says it went down as recently as this past January. Shannon's team fired back, denying everything and saying it was all fully consensual. His lawyers even claimed she was trying to run game on him, allegedly asking for $25,000 per cheek before she filed that lawsuit. They're saying he should have just paid her off and walked away, but now it's blown up into a full-blown scandal. Shannon's defense? He says she secretly recorded their bedroom moments, chopped them up, and made it look like something it wasn't. On top of that, he dropped screenshots of texts where Gabriela allegedly asked him to choke her and even told him she wanted to get pregnant by him, because according to her, she wanted a black baby.
I want to be a daddy. I want like some hardcore BDSM action though. And then she says, I want you to tie me up like this. Is me daddy. And you can see when these text messages were released, you can see it says like from Gabby to owner. So it's painting a picture that their relationship was giving that, you know, there was role play and everything that were happening. Now,
it was a very unfortunate situation.
It's crazy.
Horrible situation.
But let me ask you.
Shannon Sharpe and his lawyer have handled this whole situation terribly. First of all, if you're Shannon Sharpe, you shouldn't be saying anything.
No, he shouldn't.
Busby and this young woman got audio, video, and text messages. If you know all of those things are out there, you should shut the F up and continue to allow your lawyer to do his job. And your lawyer said out of his own mouth that you was close to a $10 million settlement with that girl. That right there is all the more reason to shut the F up. I'm not here to speak to Shannon's guilt or innocence because I don't know, but I do know attempting to settle looks like an admission of guilt because I'm not settling.
Yeah, or you're just scared.
Yeah.
Honestly, you just probably scared.
I'm with you, Charlamagne. I feel like he's being advised wrong, right? And you know, when people go through this, they go to an attorney because the attorney usually knows what's best for them. They usually know what to do. And in this situation, like any attorney would say, shut the F up and let's deal with it in court. Let's deal with facts because you can't change public opinion unless it's in court with facts. Now, but one thing I would say, if somebody said this, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and you put it in my beep and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. If that didn't happen, I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Nah, we agreed on this. I'm not going to be like, I'll call you later because I'm feeling like this is a setup right here.
Absolutely.
As soon as you text me this, I'm going to feel a little, and nobody's just going to respond. I'll call you later. You're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? We both agreed to this. You know, like, this is part of the game. Like, nobody's going to respond with that, which scares me. But like Charlamagne said, shut the F up. Let the facts play out in court because right now, all this talking is doing too much.
Audio.
And it's making it worse.
Even audio and she was like, you're manipulating me. Like, even that would have been like, oh, no. Okay, I see what this is. You know what I'm saying? Like they were role playing.
But wouldn't you have changed that right from the door?
Oh yeah,
like what are you talking about? Like no. Like let's not play this game. Were you taping me? Because last night we was good with this. Like in my opinion.
Whew, this whole situation is messy, chaotic, and full of shocking twists. Gabriella's not playing. She's being repped by none other than Tony Busby. Yeah, that Tony Busby, the same powerhouse lawyer who once tried to take down Jay-Z. Shannon thought he could throw shade by bringing up Tony's past failed case against Jay, but that move backfired hard. Tony came swinging back, claiming Shannon tried to silence Gabriella with a $10 million payout. According to him, Shannon offered the woman, referred to as Jane Doe, $10 million to drop the case, but she stood her ground and said no. She chose to file her case instead. I'm proud to be her lawyer, Tony declared. I didn't chase after her or go after anyone. Shannon knows that. Then Tony took it even further. He dropped audio recordings between Gabriella and Shannon, plus a haunting message Gabriella allegedly sent him the day after one of the incidents. The message read, "I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my A, and you didn't. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this."
So you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
I might choke you in public. Big black guy choke small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well...
People weren't feeling bad for Shannon at all. And why would they? First off, what's a man in his 60s doing fooling around with a 20-year-old in the first place? That alone had folks raising eyebrows. And on top of that, Cat Williams literally warned him right there on Shannon's own show about how Hollywood can eat you alive. Even Jaguar Wright jumped into the drama and dragged Shannon publicly, saying he brought all of this on himself. She even accused him of messing around with shady industry execs behind closed doors.
You know, a lot of people were angry at Shannon Sharpe after his Cat Williams 2024 God Ain't Playing With Y'all interview. A lot of people were angry with him. Matter of fact, there's a lot more people who reached out to him after Cat, who he turned away because he couldn't take the heat. Is everyone forgetting that? And Cat warned him, they're gonna come for you. Monique came after that, told him, they about to get you. You better watch who you kicking it with. She told him the kindest, most polite way possible. And then all of a sudden, he's accidentally going on Instagram, setting up whole corn lives. Humiliation ritual, down to the floor. But why is nobody paying attention to? They're talking about money. 10 million offered to be quiet. She asked for 25,000 for the SCX. He wants 100 million for defamation and whoopty-whoopty-woo and all of this. Why is nobody talking about the simple fact that this is a man that's pushing 60 who's messing with a girl that's barely old enough to drink?
Yeah.
Let's stay there.
Let's stay there.
Because everybody skipped over that. You messing with this girl who's a child. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Yeah, his daughters are 32, son is 30.
And he keeps getting online. And somebody want to apologize to my family. No, you don't. Because you would stop. You got busted out. You did whatever you did on Instagram. And is everyone forgetting that he was just recently tied to the whole bride and with Casanat and Skip Bayless? Is everybody forgetting that just happened just a couple months ago? You're negotiating $150 million big deal for your podcast outlets and all of that, which, by the way, was all set up for you by the NFL. Oh, I'm sorry. Who does Sean Carter work for?
The puzzle is puzzling.
No, last time I checked, Mr. Carter works for the NFL. And he was the one that got real smart Black Americans who were boycotting the NFL to stop giving the NFL their money. He was able to make all of that happen. I think we're past bending a knee. And then all of a sudden, Black people giving their money back to the NFL again? Those blackouts were for real, and it was costing the NFL millions. What else I also find funny? That he did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyonce presented herself to him, and she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him, kind of like how she approached that old friend of his when he said that he was at the party and the little people was there, and she asked him, "Isn't this sexy?"
This scandal just keeps getting deeper and dirtier as of right now. Shannon has officially settled that massive lawsuit with Gabriella, which has folks thinking there had to be some truth in her claims. Why else would he throw down millions just to keep the details under wraps? We still don't know if he paid the full $50 million, but whatever the amount was, it was clearly enough for Gabriella to delete her OnlyFans, vanish off the internet, and go live that soft life. Rich, quiet, and unbothered. Meanwhile, Shannon's taking L's left and right. ESPN wasted no time. They fired him on the spot, and he had to hop online to address the whole situation with his tail between his legs. Real talk. He might have avoided all this if he hadn't gotten involved in wild BDMF with someone 4 decades younger than him.
Started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, "Bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless."
But Tyler Perry? He's caught up in an even bigger mess. Forget $100 million. He's looking at losing around $240 million. And word on the street is, another lawsuit is already brewing in the background. Just a few weeks ago, Tyler was hit with a $240 million lawsuit by Derek Dixon, an actor from his show The Oval. Derek claims that Tyler crossed major lines, saying the director sent him explicit messages and tried to lure him into his guest house under the pretense of a professional meeting. But once he got there, things allegedly took a disturbing turn. In the legal docs, Derek says Tyler pulled down his underwear and told him, "Relax and just let it happen," even promising that it wouldn't hurt. Derek claims he got out of it by quickly switching the conversation, but that moment stuck with him. And people weren't surprised either, because months earlier, actor Christian Keys had already made a cryptic post hinting at similar shady behavior from Tyler. This ain't looking good for one of Hollywood's biggest names. Word on the street is, Christian Keys never took legal action because he allegedly got paid off to keep things quiet.
Speaking to my brother about making a declaration of my experience, what I experienced with certain powers that be that were moving inappropriately. This person was for years. He was claiming, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. Not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes. And it'll be men tempting men. I was like, well, I gotta protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above.
And just when you think it couldn't possibly get any messier, boom, another actor from the Oval steps forward, accusing both Tyler Perry and the VP of his studios, Mark Swinton, of serious misconduct, and even claims they paid off federal officials to bury it all.
I'm not about to hide anything with you guys. I'm not. And I'm not about to sit here and be afraid and be silenced by people knowingly they did me wrong. I'm calling out Tyler Perry Studios. I'm calling out Mark Swinton. I'm calling out Jeannie Harrison. I'm calling out Michael Robbins. I'm calling out Tyler Perry. And I'm calling out Mark Temple. And I'm calling out Chris Giovanni. I want you guys to know what you guys did to me was very unlawful. And me being a retired vet, U.S. Army vet, going through post-traumatic stress disorder, going through mood, depressions, everything that I have claimed in my testimony, you all covered it up. You all covered up a felony crime of what Mark Swinton has done to me. I've asked for help from the California State Bar to complain to Jeannie Harris because she didn't tell me my California right as a U.S. Army veteran and a California LA resident. I'm sitting here looking on the news that this kid named Derek Dixon is getting unlimited jurisdiction quid pro as an LA resident, right? His incident happened in 2020 in Georgia in an employment place. He said he had a and he was by Tyler Perry in Georgia as an employment place, but he's an LA resident, all right? Y'all tracking what I'm saying?
It's looking real bad out here for both Shannon and Tyler. More lawsuits are rumored to be on the way, and insiders say what we've seen so far is just the beginning. If only they had listened to Cat Williams when he tried to put them on game, they might not be drowning in scandals right now. One person online said, they love them white women, and most of them are after one thing, and that's money. That little girl played him. She had a plan from the start. Another wrote, what is happening? Every week, it's a new allegation. I've never seen this many back-to-back in just a few months. Not Tyler, man. People have been suspicious of Tyler for years, but now it's all spilling out in public, and it's not looking good for anybody involved. Now I really want to hear what you think. Was Cat Williams right all along about Shannon and Tyler sabotaging their own careers? Do you think this is the final curtain for them, or are they going to find a way to bounce back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next wild update. Click right here to watch this next messy video. See you on the next one.
Lit. You dealing with a young 20-year-old conniving, manipulative, low-down, white. I'm talking about a dirty. You all know better, Shannon. Much as you talking, like you say you won't even get on the elevator with a woman by yourself. How you at the gym and you let this 20-year-old, damn near teeny bop, little old young white bitch get you 50 mil?
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass, get your old out there that can love you. You're trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go. Think I'm old, cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the story from when I'm in the park.
Man, Charleston White just went full throttle on Shannon Sharpe, and he wasn't holding back for even a second. That rumored $23 million hush money deal and his sudden ESPN departure, Charleston's blasting it all out in the open. He's saying straight up that Shannon brought this mess on himself, and yeah, all of it was over a so-called snow bunny. Now the internet is going crazy with Shannon's name getting dragged left and right. Headlines are popping off everywhere about him getting the boot from ESPN just days after quietly wrapping up that massive $50 million lawsuit behind closed doors. And let's not pretend this came out of nowhere. People been talking for months that the whole Gabriela Zuniga situation was way nastier than it looked on paper. Remember that lawsuit from the OnlyFans model? She claimed Shannon essayed her, messed up her head big time, and even accused him of allegedly putting hands on her. That's the type of heat you don't just walk away from squeaky clean. Then out of the blue, she drops a phone recording between her and Shannon. And let's keep it real. He did not sound like some calm, innocent guy in that clip. Allegedly, his tone was loud, aggressive, and carrying that wild, almost dangerous energy that had people shaking their heads.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be to me now, so...
I don't want to be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
And just like that, Shannon jumped online with the quick, I ain't do nothing speech. He called the whole case a straight-up shakedown and swore everything that went down was fully consensual. Then he tried flipping the script on attorney Tony Busby, painting it like some long-play hit job on a rich black man. Shannon claimed Busby's been gunning for big names like Jay-Z, Diddy, and now him. He even bragged about planning to countersue for defamation.
This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down.
But here's where it gets messy. Now word is he allegedly dropped a whopping $23 million just to make that lawsuit disappear. Yeah, insiders are saying he settled it privately for that exact number. And get this, the tea is, when the lawsuit first hit, Shannon supposedly offered Gabriela $10 million to end it early. But she curved that offer hard, saying she had proof and receipts to back her claims. Fast forward, she's walking away with $23 million, quitting her OnlyFans life and cashing in like a boss. Now, Charleston White's going in, saying what a lot of folks been whispering. He's not just roasting Shannon, he's dragging him. He's asking that brutal question, why settle if you swear you're innocent? Why cough up that mountain of cash if this was all a setup? And to twist the knife, Charleston threw Shannon's own words back at him, reminding everybody how Shannon used to say he wouldn't even get on an elevator with white women to avoid trouble. Now suddenly, he's in the gym, sweatpants on, no drawers, letting a 20-something snow bunny press up on him like it's nothing.
You ought to know better, Shannon. Much shit is you talking like you say you won't even get on the elevator with a woman by yourself. How you at the gym and you let this 20-year-old, damn near teeny bopper, little old young white get you 50 mil? You offered a pink toe Peckerwood 10 million. Boy.
Charleston said the whole thing just ain't adding up. In his eyes, Shannon sold out a long time ago, left the streets, stopped rocking with the real ones, threw on them tight suits and started playing the corporate game like it was sweet. But now, that same game he thought he mastered is clapping back hard. Charleston called him straight foolish for thinking he was too slick to get caught slipping. He said instead of keeping it with the hood chicks or the strip club girls who know how to move quiet, Shannon went after the one woman who had every reason to flip the script for her own gain.
I'm the with the game. That's why I stay at the strip club with real. When you dealing with whole problems, you ain't got these problems. You dealing with these little just trying to hit a lick. You dealing with a young 20-year-old conniving, manipulative, low-down, white. I'm talking about a dirty, funky hunky.
And boom, here we are, stuck in the middle of this nasty lawsuit. Charleston even reminded folks Gabriela ain't the same woman from Shannon's messy IG Live drama last September. That's why he's calling it a full-on pattern, not some random mistake. Now Shannon's out here trying to clean it up, apologizing, and throwing on that victim card. If you've been tuned in, you already heard Shannon's apology after ESPN cut him loose. He went live asking his brother Sterling for forgiveness for stealing his moment, since ESPN dropped him right before Sterling's Hall of Fame induction. He also told fans he was sorry for messing up and letting them down. But Charleston wasn't buying a single word, called it medicine after death, and said Shannon should have listened when Monique warned him to leave them young women alone because they were just waiting for the perfect moment to feast the second he slipped.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your get you an old out there that can love you. You're trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Even Cat Williams tried to put him on game during that Club Shade interview. Told him straight up, Shay, leave them white girls alone. But Shannon, man, he just laughed it off like he was untouchable. Thought he was running the board when, in reality, he was the puppet getting played.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go, think I'm old, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the story from when I'm in the park.
Charleston never vibed with Shannon from day one. He swears Shannon's always had a little hate for him, all because Charleston spoke loud with no filter and wasn't scared to shake the room. He's been calling out NFL players for years, clowning them as big, dumb football dudes. And he didn't stop there. Charleston even went in on Deion Sanders, calling him a modern-day Bill Cosby and saying these guys were out here playing fake, squeaky clean TV family men while turning their backs on the real culture.
Oh, Shannon Sharpe, he really don't like me. I done call all the football players men big old dumb stupid ass. You know, so I done offended and insulted everybody. Yeah. But you gotta understand, homie, I done said some horrible things about Deion and the boys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this an alumni.
Yeah, that's why.
I said some horrible things about Deion is the modern day Bill Cosby and them boys is Theo Huxtable and yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's the modern day of that. You know, this is who we, so we idolize this family. Deion is the ideal father in the black community. This is, yeah. So, and here I am attacking him in his toe in his boy.
Shannon hated that. Hated Charleston keeping it raw while he kept smiling for the corporate cameras, playing that polished role. But Charleston, he couldn't care less. He said it plain, if you ain't street no more, you're gone. And now, according to insiders, Shannon's paying the ultimate price, not just losing his ESPN gig, but possibly tanking a $100 million media empire he was building all over one snow bunny. Then let's keep it real. Shannon wasn't just another sports commentator. The man was a brand. He had podcasts, endorsements, big media moves, all rolling like a money train, not until it all hit the brakes. And now the whole empire's shaking. All because he didn't take 2 damn seconds to think. One move with the wrong woman, and the dominoes are falling fast. The streets are talking loud right now. Folks saying Shannon just gave up more money in that lawsuit than he ever earned playing in the NFL. They clowning him, saying he cut a check to an OnlyFans model like she was a Super Bowl MVP. And all of this could have been avoided if he just kept his ears open and followed those old school street rules. But nah, he wanted sharp, young, and pretty. And now look where that landed him. One person online went in saying, bruh paid her more than he made in his entire NFL career. No way he's innocent. Another said, Shannon, all this could have been avoided if you just listened to Kat and Monique. And one blunt comment hit like a brick. SMH, still don't get it. Learn to shut up sometimes. You brought this on yourself. And here's what's really stinging. It ain't just the $23 million payout. It's knowing that everything Shannon built post-NFL, every brick of that media empire, now has a deep crack running through it. And in this game, cracks don't just vanish, especially when the streets ain't riding with you anymore. So the real question is, did Shannon play himself chasing the wrong type, or is Charleston just turning the flames up for show? Is this karma cashing its check, or was it a setup from day one? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you rock with this real talk, smash that like button, hit subscribe, share it with your people, and I'll catch you in the next one. It's about to get even crazier.
Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, oh, I wouldn't have let him do this, I wouldn't have said that.
How was that people having me
They aren't my problems. So the idea of being petty or going back and forth, it's so beneath me because I don't have the problem. And
why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it?
Kevin Hart might be Hollywood's comedy king, but that cheesy grin and those Instagram gym clips, all just a front. Behind the scenes, he's been moving slick, and now things are getting real messy. Shannon Sharpe just got caught in the crossfire, and this ain't no basic celebrity feud. It's a full-on power grab happening right in front of us. He lost a massive $100 million deal, got slapped with one of the nastiest lawsuits of the year, and now a 19-year-old OnlyFans model is accusing him of some seriously twisted behavior. It's wild, but here's the twist that nobody saw coming. Cat Williams just jumped in and pointed fingers straight at Kevin Hart. And what he's saying, it lines up way too well. According to Cat, this isn't some random scandal. This was a setup from the jump. And when you break it all down, the pieces fit way too perfectly. Cat's been calling out Kevin for years, but now the dots are finally connecting. Every time Kevin hits another level of success, another black entertainer just happens to get pushed out. Coincidence? Cat doesn't think so. Kevin's been climbing that Hollywood ladder with a smile on his face. But what if he's been quietly knocking down the very same men who opened the doors for him? Let's not act brand new. This drama didn't just fall out the sky. Cat has never rocked with Kevin, and he's made that loud and clear. This beef didn't start with that Club Shay Shay interview. That was just the explosion after years of quiet tension. Back in the 2000s, Cat was the one holding the spotlight. He had the streets buzzing, comedy shows sold out, and movie roles lined up. But out of nowhere, those roles started disappearing. And guess who popped up in them? Kevin Hart. Cat still swears Kevin didn't climb to the top on talent. He slid in through the back door while others were getting cut out. Let's keep it real. Kevin Hart didn't just rise to the top, he was placed there. He came into Hollywood with that flop movie Soul Plane. And instead of getting laughed out of the game, he somehow landed a TV show, back-to-back movie deals, and became the go-to guy for family comedies and big brand endorsements. How does that even happen after a flop like that? Meanwhile, Cat Williams was out here getting painted like a straight-up train wreck. The media had him labeled as a crackhead, always on the edge of a breakdown. But Cat says it wasn't a meltdown, it was a setup. And who came up every time he got knocked down? Kevin. Now jump to the 2010s, when Hollywood started flipping the switch. Remember that era when every black comedian was suddenly rocking wigs and heels for laughs? It was like a trend. Kevin once said loud and clear that he'd never wear a dress on screen.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so, you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning.
You look
said
good
no to that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand.
Sounded like he was standing on something solid, but then boom, he showed up on SNL in a dress like it was nothing. At the same time, Dave Chappelle had just gone viral talking to Oprah, saying he refused to wear a dress because he didn't want to be used as a joke to entertain powerful Hollywood execs.
He put this dress on and, what, a prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny.
That hit hard. So when Kevin popped out in a dress right after that, Cat saw it as a sign. To him, Kevin wasn't just selling out. He was sticking to the script laid out by the industry. And it didn't stop there. Back when Cat was at the top of his game, the media started blasting stories that he was unstable, wild and out, and on something heavy.
But Cat says that was never the truth. That was the smear campaign. But when you really look at it, most of the wild stories about Cat didn't come from the cops. They came from behind-the-scenes PR machines. It wasn't about arrests or real charges. It was spin. Then Kevin went on The Breakfast Club and pretty much blamed Cat for ruining his own career.
Good or bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position at one point.
You were the guy.
Yeah.
You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You f***ed off promo shoots. You f***ed off your promo fucking trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios fucking with.
Like Cat tripped himself up, and Kevin didn't stop there.
Was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy.
He kept pushing the same narrative, hard. But here's the question. Why was Kevin throwing so much heat at someone who wasn't even in his lane anymore? That's where the real conspiracy kicks in. A lot of folks believe Kevin wasn't just clapping back. He was trying to erase Cat completely. Let's not pretend we don't know how the industry moves. They love someone who plays the game, follows orders, stays quiet. Kevin fit the role perfectly. But Cat, he wasn't with the program, and he definitely wasn't staying silent about it. When those drug rumors got thrown around, Cat clapped back hard.
44 years old. I get my blood tested every 3 months for the last 15 years. All narcotic tests have come up 0.00%. You look up my rap sheet. Have never had a DUI or a possession of anything. See, when you real, you can tell the truth about anything or anybody. I answer to no one but God.
He even claimed that roles originally written for him were handed straight to Kevin after he refused to shoot scenes that involved assault or made black men look weak or foolish. One of the wildest examples? Friday After Next. Cat says they tried to force him into filming a scene where his character gets assaulted in a bathroom. He stood his ground and said no. And what was the reward? Hollywood blacklisted him. Meanwhile, Kevin, who reportedly had no issue taking on roles like that, ended up getting offered the next big parts. Now fast forward to 2024, Cat Williams jumps on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe's podcast, and drops what might be the most viral interview of the year, and the part that had people gasping, he went all the way in on Kevin Hart again.
Definitions of these words.
Everyone thought Kevin Hart would fire back at Cat Williams directly after that explosive podcast, but he stayed quiet at first.
I told you.
Then, out of nowhere during an NBA broadcast, Kevin started cracking strange off-topic jokes about Cat.
Another fun fact about the New York Knicks, I don't know if you guys know this, but Cat Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, and it's rumored that he took the Knicks back, returned them with a receipt.
You could do that. You didn't know you could do that.
The first person to ever do it.
Oh, they gave him a 30-day policy.
He bought it for 15 days.
And returned it.
Yeah. That's another fun fact about the New York Knicks.
He made the team.
He played.
He played.
Oh, he played. He played with the Knicks. He played with them.
Well, you know he's fast. They say he's fast.
Yeah,
he run a sub,
one of the fastest.
a 3.9.
What you say?
A sub 3.9. He figured out how to play basketball from reading all them books.
3,000 of them.
3,000 a year.
A year.
And that's 2 a day. At 6 years old.
It was weird, but fans picked up on it real quick. This wasn't comedy, it was shade in disguise. People realized Kevin was using primetime TV to take slick shots at Cat, trying to clown him without saying his name. But what nobody saw coming? Shannon Sharpe getting dragged into the chaos. Right after that Club Shay episode went viral, things started falling apart for him. Fast. Deals started disappearing.
Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, oh, I wouldn't have let him do this, I wouldn't have said that. But you know what? It took me a long time, Cam, because when you play sports, you understand.
Guests bailed on scheduled appearances. Major brands backed off like they didn't even know him.
I have a little resentment towards you because you beating their team, right? Or certain fan bases are going to feel a certain type of way, and I felt that the better the player, the more vitriol and hate he's going to get from opposing fans. I got that, but in this situation, I can honestly say I did not expect the level of vitriol and the suddenness. That's what really got me, the suddenness.
And then boom! A lawsuit came out of nowhere like a wrecking ball. A 19-year-old OnlyFans model named Gabriela Zuniga accused Shannon of some serious disturbing behavior. The internet went wild. Some fans were in disbelief, but others, they said the warning signs were right there in plain sight. During that same podcast, Cat actually warned Shannon straight up. He told him that Hollywood gatekeepers don't play fair.
I just mentioned I did them both.
And that Shannon was making it way too easy for them to twist the narrative. Shannon had been real open about his lifestyle.
Date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right here.
Where y'all at? Hey, Chad, where they at?
And he did it more than once.
Women trying to shame older men into picking them. Because see, not the competition. Older women ain't the competition with older women. It's them young ones.
Right.
It's them young ones that cut. That'll do what you want.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm independent. I pay my bills. I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself.
He kept talking about being single, living wild.
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you said with the umbrella?
Miss Nasty.
Yeah. I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking straight and narrow.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
And his thing for younger women, and not just once either. He even joked about it like it was no big deal. And just to make things more heated, Cat even told him to be careful dating white women.
That was knock.
Yeah. Like he knew the setup was coming. Now the whole thing's looking like a trap that was waiting to snap. Now all of that talk, it turned into straight up ammo. And with Gabriela's lawsuit hitting like a truck, Cat Williams is convinced Shannon Sharpe walked right into a setup. Let's break down this wild case that came out of nowhere. Shannon is now facing a massive $50 million lawsuit from a 19-year-old woman named Gabriela Zuniga. But don't get it twisted. She wasn't just some random follower or somebody he bumped into by accident. Gabriela was an OnlyFans model, going by the name She Is Carly online. Word is, Shannon met her at a gym and started linking up with her last year, when he was 54. Now here's where it gets real dark. Gabriela's lawsuit didn't just throw vague claims. She came in heavy, with graphic, serious accusations. According to her, Shannon lured her into a secret relationship, pressured her into disturbing race-related role play, made violent threats, groped her repeatedly, and even filmed her without consent. She's also saying Shannon figured out a way to sneak into her building without permission, and once even threatened to kill her if she tried to reach out for help. That's the level we're talking about. The timing of it all? Sketchy doesn't even begin to cover it. This lawsuit hit just as Shannon was wrapping up a reported $100 million media deal. Fans instantly started raising eyebrows. Like, how does that lawsuit land right when he's about to level up? Too perfect to be a coincidence. And here's where it really starts to look strategic. People began asking the real questions. How did Gabriela even end up in Shannon's orbit? And how did her legal team move so fast and come out swinging with such serious support? This ain't looking random, it's feeling orchestrated. That's when things took an even crazier turn. The name Jaguar Wright popped up, and what she dropped? Straight bombshell. Jaguar claimed Gabriela wasn't just some thirsty influencer. She was deeply connected to Hollywood power, specifically the Zuniga family. Yeah, that Zuniga family, like Daphne Zuniga from Melrose Place. Jaguar said those same circles Gabriela runs in are tight with folks like Kevin Hart.
Now, I'm not going to say her first name, but the family name that she holds is Zuniga. I've been researching, trying to figure out if she's related to the Hollywood Zunigas. Because Daphne Zuniga has ties in some interesting areas behind the scenes. Melrose Place actress, does anybody remember?
Oh, damn, man, that Melrose Place, yeah, 1990s.
Yeah, Daphne Zuniga. She has ties, like I said, some very interesting Hollywood ties. So you messing with this girl who's a child. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
Jaguar didn't sugarcoat it. She said Gabriela was planted. According to her, this whole scandal was a calculated trap, set up from jump. And Gabriela, she didn't pull up empty-handed. She brought receipts, messages, audio clips, the whole package.
If you say that one more time, I'm going to beat the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
And when Shannon tried to play it like he was the one being wronged, Gabriella flipped the script and took it to the next level. She dropped a voice memo of Shannon making freaky, explicit comments, and the internet exploded. Fans were already shook, but then it got worse. Shannon's own lawyer confirmed he had offered Gabriella a whopping $10 million to settle things quietly. Does that mean he's guilty? Not exactly, but it definitely shows he was shook and trying to make this disappear before it ruined him completely. Now picture this. You're Shannon, your career's on fire in the worst way, deals gone, reputation trashed, media dragging you. That's when fans started whispering something loud. Kevin Hart made some calls. Think about it. Kevin's got major pull. He's tied into every studio, every streaming service, every big network. He's the clean-cut golden boy, hosts the People's Choice Awards, jokes around with The Rock in tequila ads. He's in every lane. If Kevin even hinted that Shannon was bad for business, that's all it would take to shut doors. Fast. Now let's get into the why, because Kevin Hart had every reason to be heated. That Club Shay Shay interview went nuclear, and the blast landed right on Kevin's name. Kat called him a plant, a sellout, and even hinted that Kevin was getting cozy with the Hollywood puppet masters. And what did Shannon do? Sat back and let it all ride. Didn't check him, didn't defend Kevin, nothing. But Shannon didn't stay quiet for long. He clapped back, not just denying the wild accusations, but going after the legal team behind it.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself.
He called out attorney Tony Busby. Yeah, the same powerhouse lawyer who went after Diddy and tried to take Jay-Z to court. Shannon straight up accused him of targeting high-profile black men and using the media to twist public opinion before the facts are even out.
Orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
And then it got real spicy. Shannon didn't hold back. He challenged Busby directly.
Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans.
Daring him to prove something real. It was bold, but maybe too late, because let's be honest, the damage was already done. Sponsors pulled out. His monster 100 million media deal, now it's hanging by a thread. And through all of this, Kevin Hart is silent. No tweets, no shady Instagram jokes, no interviews. Just quiet, too quiet. But if you step back and look at the bigger picture, this ain't just about Kevin and Shannon. It's a cycle, a pattern that's playing out over and over again. First, it was Cat Williams, then Monique, now Shannon Sharpe. Each time, it's the same story. Kevin gets the spotlight while somebody else gets hit with the scandal. Shannon gave Kat and Monique a platform, and suddenly he's the one catching heat. Now he's being accused, deals are vanishing, and he's one bad headline away from becoming another Hollywood cautionary tale. And who's still standing tall through it all? Kevin. Every single time someone else gets pushed out, Kevin levels up. People are finally starting to notice. He doesn't just rise when others fall, he profits from it. Whether Kevin's pulling strings or just benefiting from chaos, the optics, they look real bad. But now it's your turn to sound off. Do you think Shannon Sharpe is getting hit just for giving Cat Williams and Monique a platform? Or did he play himself by moving reckless and handing the industry the ammo they needed to take him down? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't hold back. Hit that like button if you're rocking with the content. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this with someone who needs to hear the real story. And keep those notifications on, because this rabbit hole goes way deeper than folks want to admit. See you on the next one. It's about to get even crazier.
I can't stand Ice Cube. That's crazy. I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting wise.
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so I don't know if he a comedian.
Put hands on you, give you real black eyes. Come on, don't do that. And that's the truth. I mean, you could. I've had about enough.
You know you crossed the line when Ice Cube, the legend behind No Vaseline, takes a break from his billionaire grind just to roast you. But Aries Spears didn't just poke the bear, he went after the whole den. On Big Boy's Neighborhood, Ari didn't hold back. He dragged Cube's acting, his music, even his entire legacy like it was open season. He straight up called Ice Cube trash as a rapper and an actor. And Cube, oh, he heard it loud and clear. He clapped back, calling Aries irrelevant, not funny, and said dude wasn't even close to cracking the top 10 in black comedy. Brrr. But guess who jumped in next? 50 Cent. And you already know if there's someone 50 loves to roast, it's someone already crashing and burning. He couldn't resist. Now, this whole mess started off chill. Big Boy was just talking about rappers, typical barbershop type talk, rating legends and swapping names. But Aries, he did what he always does. Went off the rails with no seatbelt. The second Cube's name got mentioned, Aries didn't hesitate.
Ice Cube is a motherfucking lyricist.
I can't stand Ice Cube. That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of him lyrically or acting wise.
Really?
He's the same.
How much time we got left here? Because should I just tell him to leave now?
No blink, no filter, just fire. And that was only the beginning. Next, he took shots at Today Was a Good Day, a song that's like the national anthem of West Coast rap.
You don't think that...
One of the songs I hate the most, if it comes on, I want to shoot the radio. Today was a good day.
People love that track. But Aries, he clowned it like it was some throwaway mixtape. Big Boy's co-host tried to smooth it over with a quick laugh, tried to shift gears, but Aries wasn't done. He kept pushing and went into this awkward Ice Cube impersonation, pretending Cube was some wild gynecologist. The punchline, so weird, so cringy. Everybody at the table just froze up like, did he really just say that?
John Chung did a great joke. He goes, here's Ice Cube as a gynecologist. Hey, Miss Jenkins, I looked at your chart. Now get up on that butt.
That's racist. I don't know how it's racist, but what you just did is racist.
Aries was laughing, but nobody else was. The room went dead silent. And mocking Ice Cube once, that clearly wasn't enough for him. He kept poking the bear like he wanted real smoke. This wasn't just a hot take. This was Aries Spears crossing the line, again and again. The co-hosts weren't smiling. Big Boy tried to steer the convo in a safer direction, but Aries, he just kept pressing the gas. Then, out of nowhere, he took aim at Tupac. Yeah, Tupac.
Tupac was not the greatest lyricist. He was energy. He was passion. He made you feel him. If that said, tear the club up, you wanted to tear the club up. Dear mama, you wanted to hug your mama. When you think about lyricism, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Jadakiss, my lyrics, spitters.
He didn't just throw shade, he disrespected the entire West Coast. That's how you get blackballed out here. And what's wild is, Aries knew exactly what he was doing. At one point, he looked straight into the camera and said it loud like he wanted to smoke.
Watch the comments. Now, when people talk about, you ask anybody, no matter where their region, you know, give me a top 5 rappers. Pac's usually always in that list. Right. I don't ever put Pac up there with the top rappers.
Like he dared people to come for him. The backlash, immediate. One fan jumped in saying, I love Aries' skills, but bro, the Ice Cube slander is a no-no. Another said, and this is why Aries ain't credible. Talking like Cube or Pac weren't lyrical. Nah, he's just mad because the West took New York's crown back in the 80s and 90s. But here's the twist. Aries didn't expect the OGs he was clowning to actually clap back. Normally, legends brush off the hate and keep it moving. They don't waste time on folks looking for attention. But this time, it hit different. Ice Cube responded like a real G, calm but cutting. He questioned whether Aries was even funny, even relevant, even recognized in the black comedy scene.
I saw a comedian speaking kind of bad about you, man.
Who is this?
Aries Spears.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah. He said nothing.
Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Because he ain't never made me laugh, so.
That hit had weight. Ice Cube didn't just defend himself. He torched Aries Spears' whole resume.
Did you hear what he said?
What'd he say?
He said it was nothing about you impresses him. From movies to rapping, nothing at all impresses him. And I'm like, wow, like what?
Suckers usually don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that you know, they usually don't like me when they coming from that angle. That's cool though. You know, everybody got their opinion, and they all stink. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's cool. You know, he entitled to his opinion. It's the feeling is mutual. You know, I don't think he on anybody's list of top 10 comedians. You know what I mean, in the black community for sure. I don't even know if he's on the register. What up?
Cube came in calm, collected, but lethal. He's been in this game too long to play petty. He's not just a rapper, he's a living blueprint of the culture. This man went from penning bars for NWA to dropping one of the greatest diss tracks in history to creating Friday and even building the Big Three basketball league from the ground up. Cube's got decades of wins and the receipts to prove it. He wasn't done embarrassing himself. Even after legends clowned him and fans tore him apart online, he showed up on Vlad TV, still popping off, still dragging Cube like he didn't just get humbled. At this point, it wasn't even about Cube anymore. What Aries didn't realize was someone else was watching. Somewhere in a luxury suite, probably scrolling through his phone and sipping something expensive, 50 Cent was locked in. And Aries, he had words for him too. And just when folks thought 50 would brush it off, he came swinging in his own sneaky style. He posted a video, no names mentioned, just straight shade. Real subtle, but the message, clear as day. Fans caught it instantly. 50 called Aries delusional without ever saying his name.
Hey, man. I gotta listen to this. Nah, this hot right.
Classic 50. He let the internet do the math. But wait, why did 50 Cent even jump into this mess? Let's be real, 50 stays busy. He's running multiple shows like Power and BMF, flipping liquor brands, locking down TV deals, and still finding time to tour. So why this drama? Why did this particular shade session end up on his Instagram? Here's what most folks forget. 50 and Ice Cube got history. Not beef, respect. It runs deep. Back when Hollywood didn't know what to do with 50, Cube was one of the few who publicly co-signed his moves in the movie world. That meant something, and 50, he never forgot. He's shown love in interviews, always giving Cube his props without hesitation.
Ice Cube was on when I'm just watching. Music, all of it.
Movies, all of it.
Yeah. I never really seen Ice Cube in films that weren't his. You know, like he kind of produced the vehicle that he was in. And it wasn't like he was just being an actor in someone else's film.
Now, Aries Spears, he's the kind of dude 50 lives to roast. Loud, abrasive, and always talking, but with no recent work to stand on. That's exactly 50's type of target. So of course he pulled up ready. And the shade? Ruthless. He posted, "Check my temperature, I'm ice cold. The hood left the left side of my chest froze. Need help with your bills? I'll write you a referral. Might even get you a love contract." Whoo! No names needed. Everyone knew who he was talking about. And Aries? He felt it. You could tell, because what did he do next? He snapped back, ranting hard on Cube, emotional and salty from that sting.
I'm the poster child for the world's biggest hater. If you look up the word hate, it's my picture. When did we get to a point where unless your opinion, and last time I checked, as human beings, we're all allowed to opinions. At what point does it get to where unless your opinion is favorable about a person or a thing and goes with the flow of everyone else, you're a hater? I don't understand that. Somebody sent me a clip where Ice Cube responded. He was on a radio show and the dude played him the snippet. And the first thing Ice Cube says is, well, most suckers don't like me. Then he goes on to say, I never heard of this dude. Then he finishes by saying, well, he's just not funny. Well, you can't have it both ways. If you don't know who I am, how do you know if I'm funny or not? So you can't have it both ways.
But here's where Aries really fumbled the whole thing. He went on this wild contradiction saying, I respect Ice Cube as a man.
And for the record, I respect Ice Cube, the man. I respect Ice Cube in terms of what he's brought to the game. He's one of the pioneers. So hats off to him for that.
But in the next breath, claimed Cube's never done anything impressive. Like, what?
Just said I wasn't a fan of his artistry. I never attacked him as a man. I never attacked him in terms of his character. I said I wasn't a fan of his artistry. Why am I not allowed to feel that way? Why is that? And then secondly, it's always funny. People call me a hater because they love to highlight when I say I don't like something as though I don't have love for anything.
That's not just confusing, it's a total cell phone. You can't say you respect someone and then erase their entire legacy. And that's when folks really started dragging Aries Spears. Not for having an opinion, but for flipping sides and acting like he was the victim once the heat came back. The internet wasn't buying it. One user clapped back with, you can't give a hot take and get mad when someone matches your energy. Another dropped, you're allowed your opinion, but after that skit, you're not valid. Ice Cube is a made man. But then it went deeper. Someone brought up a chapter Aries definitely wasn't ready to revisit, his dark past. Suddenly, this wasn't just a rap beef or comedy clapback, it got real ugly. People started resurfacing the 2022 lawsuit involving Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish, a lawsuit that sent shockwaves through the industry. The suit centered around a disturbing comedy sketch where a minor is left alone with a creepy adult character played by Aries. The camera lingered in ways that made people uncomfortable.
Did you call me?
Oh, yes, Uncle Pete. Can you watch TJ for me? I need to run to the, I gotta run some errands. I need to go to cleaners, and I should be coming back. Okay?
All right, baby.
Thank you.
It was supposed to be a joke, but nobody was laughing. The vibe was off and people spoke up. The internet erupted, Twitter was in flames, and even the Shade Room posted the footage. The backlash came quick and heavy, and even though the case was later settled out of court and the video wiped from the internet, the damage had been done. That stain, it's stuck. And what did Aries do next? He ran right back to Vlad TV. Again, it became his go-to spot for venting, but fans started connecting the dots. They noticed Aries was on Vlad more than Vlad himself, complaining about being blackballed, saying he should be on Kevin Hart's level, blaming everybody but himself. It became a pattern. No new work, just interviews and rants. Meanwhile, his name only popped up when drama hit. No fresh projects, no career wins, just more controversy, more interviews, more excuses. People weren't buying it anymore. They were watching the fall in real time. Aries Spears wasn't trending for comedy, he was trending for chaos. No sold-out shows, no hot new roles, just bitter sound bites, viral beefs, and old trauma being dragged back into the spotlight, hoping someone still cared. But let's not act surprised. This ain't new. Behind the scenes, Aries has always had a rep. Multiple former castmates have gone on record saying he was tough to work with. Full of ego, always trying to one-up everyone in the room.
Equation will never be satisfied. Why? Because some other will come along that'll take and blow the world up, and you'll want to be that. And there's some other will come around and have as talented as you, or possibly more, and then you're going to get upset because again, you focus on everything that is not you.
Hold up.
Everything you want,
wait a minute,
but not what's in your present space.
He's got skills, no doubt. His impressions, solid, crowd work, sharp when he's on, but he never got that Chappelle level moment. And that kind of missed opportunity, it eats at people. Now let's flip the script. Why did this whole Ice Cube beef blow up in Aries' face? Because when you come for Cube, you're swinging at a pillar of the culture. Period. Let's break it down. No Vaseline isn't just a diss track, it's one of the most savage, legendary takedowns in rap history. Still ranked top 3 decades later. Then you've got Friday, a film that didn't just define black comedy, but became a cultural milestone. From Smokey to Debo, it birthed characters that still live in memes and punchlines today. And that's not even the half. Cube built the Big 3 League, an actual pro basketball league from scratch, now backed by real investors and NBA legends. The man turned vision into reality. And long before any of that, he was ghostwriting for Eazy-E, Dre, and Ren, crafting the NWA sound before he was even out of high school. That's not just talent, that's legendary status. Now stack that up against Aries Spears' resume. What's his biggest cultural impact? A few solid Mad TV impressions, some decent stand-up routines, and now podcast clips where he's disrespecting legends and going viral for all the wrong reasons. No empire, no classics, just noise. And this is exactly why fans backed Ice Cube without hesitation. But here's the final twist that really sealed it. Cube dropped a teaser cast list for the highly anticipated Final Friday movie, and guess whose name was missing? Aries Spears was nowhere to be found. Now maybe Aries was never actually in the running, but the timing had fans buzzing. They saw it as Cube sending a crystal clear message. You don't diss legends and expect to eat at the same table. It wasn't just a snub, it felt intentional. No matter how many impressions Aries can pull off, none of them are landing him real roles where it matters. He wanted to go viral, and yeah, he did, but not for his comedy, not for his talent. He's trending because two certified legends called him a nobody, and the wild part, nobody stepped in to disagree. If you like this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs to see the full story. Catch you in the next one.
I think Shannon just did a Diddy mistake. He settled.
Got to get to some breaking news out of the sports world now. ESPN confirming to NBC it's cutting ties with its NFL commentator Shannon Sharpe. The move coming after Sharpe, of course, the Hall of Fame tight end, settled a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assaults and battery.
Shannon Sharpe's name wiped clean off ESPN's talent page, straight up vanished. And wild enough, that same week, a massive $50 million lawsuit was already locked up behind sealed doors. But here's what ESPN clearly didn't see coming. Shannon ain't the type to go out quiet. Now the man they tried to ghost is clapping back hard and threatening to spill everything. Sealed settlements, shady recordings, and high-up execs who straight up ignored him before his brother's biggest night ever. Here's the part folks are scared to speak on. There was no trial, no guilty verdict, just a quick hush-hush settlement and then poof, disappearance. But this ain't just some firing drama. Insiders are whispering that Shannon saw real shady stuff behind the scenes at ESPN, stuff they didn't want getting out. Now, he's out here dropping hints that he's holding receipts, and it might just be the kind of truth ESPN never wanted aired out. Let's not forget, Shannon had the whole game in a chokehold. He dipped from undisputed like a straight boss, left Skip Bayless scrambling, and when he joined First Take with Stephen A. Smith, it was fireworks. That link-up felt legendary, like Shannon was finally getting his shine, minus all the passive-aggressive vibes from Skip. But blink twice and boom, Shannon's name is gone. No farewell, no thank you, just deleted like he was never even there. And yo, it gets even messier. Before that quiet exit, there was already a storm brewing. In April 2025, a woman hit Shannon with a $50 million civil lawsuit, and just like that, the silence rolled in. And now, the same man they tried to scrub from the record is gearing up to speak out. And if he drops what people think he's holding, ESPN might be in deep trouble. It wasn't criminal, but the accusations, heavy enough to wreck a whole career? The woman came forward saying Shannon assaulted her, manipulated her, and emotionally tore her down. She claimed to have audio receipts too. It wasn't just messy, it had the power to end everything if people believed it. Shannon didn't duck it though. He hit his podcast and went all in, calling the whole thing a straight-up shakedown.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right.
He admitted the relationship was messy, but he made it real clear. It was mutual, consensual, and complicated, not criminal.
That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans.
While Shannon was speaking out, ESPN, dead silent, like weirdly quiet, no support, no press release, not even a name drop. He just slowly faded from the spotlight, like they were hoping the public wouldn't notice, but Shannon wasn't having it. He clapped back with a lawsuit of his own.
Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say just like I always do. I love all you guys.
And here's where the twist hits. That lawsuit, it never even saw a courtroom. Just 3 months later, it got handled quietly behind closed doors. No trial, no verdict, just a sealed up settlement.
Did they say how much he settled for?
They have not said how much he settled for, but if you guys remember in the beginning, Tony Busby had let us know that there was like $10 million offered when they were having a settlement conversation, and then Shannon Sharpe's attorney came out and mentioned that they offered a good amount of money because they were trying to keep the intimate details of this whole thing contained.
Private?
Yes, private or contained.
But instead of clearing the air, that settlement made Shannon look even more suspicious to some folks.
She asked for 50. What do you think?
I heard it was 15 million.
15?
I heard it. Allegedly, I had heard the streets are saying that he had to sell some of his podcasts, Bacon podcast shares, company to cash out.
Wow.
So she's part owner now? He did like to role play with her. I'm not allowed on his page. He blocked me.
And DA Academics even jumped in with some advice for him on how to handle the mess.
I think Shannon just did a Diddy mistake. He settled. And I'm going to tell anybody who gets to that Shannon level, you got to start banking on your audience. Your audience don't think you did none of that bullshit.
And just when you think that's the worst of it, nope, it goes darker. Because what ESPN pulled next had people fired up. Less than 24 hours before Shannon's older brother, Sterling, was supposed to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, the biggest night in their family's entire life, ESPN made a move that crossed the line completely. That's when ESPN dropped the axe, cold and calculated. Let that sink in.
ESPN done with Shannon Sharpe after Bombshell, $50 million lawsuit with what was the 19-year-old girl? How old was she? Story, 19, 20, 21-year-old girl. Something happened with the girl. She was a 19 or 20-year-old girl that he was hooking up with, or something happened.
Shannon had one simple request. Just wait until after the ceremony. That's all he asked for. But instead, they dropped the news right before his brother's Hall of Fame induction, knowing good and well the headlines would steal the spotlight from a moment their family waited decades to celebrate. Don't let anyone tell you that was just bad timing. Nah, that was personal. Shannon even opened up about it on Nightcap. His voice cracking with emotion, you could hear the pain.
To get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday?
He said the part that hit the hardest was that it all went down while his brother was gearing up for the biggest night of his life.
My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize.
Shannon made it clear he's not mad about the decision.
I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday.
But what cuts deep? He feels sorry for his brother.
I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me.
Who had to share his once-in-a-lifetime moment with this mess. And ESPN, they didn't care. Not even a little. And just when the internet was still trying to figure out what just happened, boom! Another bombshell hits. Front Office Sports reports that years ago, back when Shannon was still over at FS1, there was another incident. A female staffer accused him of choking her, but it never made the news. Why? Because it was all handled behind closed doors. No cops, no lawsuit, just a quiet settlement, and folks say it cost hundreds of thousands. Shannon's team tried to brush it off, saying it was playful. But come on, this ain't flag football. Now it's back-to-back scandals, one fresh, one from the vault, and ESPN execs, they're shook. That awkward silence, now it's looking real calculated. And let's not forget Michelle Evans either. And not the Michelle Shannon was hyping up on IG Live. This ain't the Michelle Shannon was flirting with on IG Live. This is a whole different Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
Oh, hanging in there.
You were thrown into a sex tape ordeal. I've spoken to sources that were close to Shannon Sharpe. I guess he was trying to dispel the gay rumors. Do you feel like that recording of him going live was real, or do you feel like he just used your name since he was with you for 10 plus years?
It's triggering. You got to remember, this was a very sensitive subject. The last time I saw him, he raped me.
But here's where it gets wild. When those allegations dropped back in April, ESPN stayed completely silent. Shannon's name was still on the site like nothing happened. No comment, no statement, just business as usual. It wasn't ESPN that moved first, and it was other companies that started backing away. Even Stephen A. Smith had to hop on his podcast and admit he personally called Disney's top dog to talk things through. So why now? Why fire Shannon after the case was already settled? If they stood by him while the storm was raging, why ghost him when the clouds cleared? Because they were never really standing with him. They were just waiting for the buzz to die down, for the internet to move on, for people to forget. Then they slid the knife in. No press drama, no media circus, just a quiet delete, a website update, and boom, like he never existed. But the real twist? They thought Shannon would just take the L, take the money, take the bruises, and vanish. But nope, Shannon flipped the script. He's teasing on podcasts, dropping hints that he's sitting on serious receipts. And not just text messages. We're talking stories that could burn bridges and torch boardrooms. Now he's talking like a man with nothing left to lose. And that makes him very dangerous. Because when you've got nothing to protect, you stop playing nice. And if what he's hinting at is even half true, ESPN won't just be dodging a scandal, they'll be scrambling to survive. Let's be real. Firing Shannon wasn't just about a lawsuit or some allegations. It was about keeping secrets hidden, especially the ones Shannon might have witnessed up close, ones that were never supposed to see the light of day. Let's not forget who we're dealing with here. Shannon Sharpe ain't just some ex-football star with a mic. This is a man who spent decades in locker rooms, boardrooms, and behind-the-scenes studios. He's seen it all. The power plays, the backdoor deals, the favoritism, the shady double standards. He knows where the bodies are buried. Shannon's always moved with strategy. When he fought to break free from his FS1 deal with Skip Bayless, it wasn't random. He had bigger moves lined up. He walked straight into ESPN's arms, and guess what? Ratings shot through the roof. But here's what most folks didn't catch. That undisputed breakup, it wasn't just personal, it was a major red flag. A warning that Shannon was done playing nice with powerful execs who think they can manage, muzzle, and mold strong black voices to fit their agenda. And if ESPN thought they could treat him like Skip did, that was mistake number one, because fans started noticing Shannon's been leaving clues for months now. Little hints, little slips, like he's been gearing up to tell the real story. And let's be real, Shannon ain't even the first. ESPN has a pattern when it comes to letting go of big names under messy circumstances. Let's talk about it. By Jamela Hill, fired after speaking out about racism and calling out Trump. Facts. Michelle Beadle, pushed out after clashing with execs over how the NBA was being covered.
This business for 20 plus years. I've been treated poorly a couple times. This didn't feel good. I'm not gonna lie.
Mark Jackson, allegedly iced out after taking a moral stand behind the scenes. You seeing the pattern now? Because it's loud and clear. The second someone becomes too bold, too honest, too loud, especially when they're black, they suddenly become a problem. And then they're gone. Cut loose like they never mattered. Now Shannon's supporters, they're not holding back anymore. They're calling it for what they believe it is. Straight up racism. They did this to him because he's black. Let that sit for a second. This ain't just about a personality clash. Shannon wasn't just opinionated. He was uncontrollable, and that made him dangerous to the system. And here's the part ESPN really doesn't want out. Word on the street is they didn't just wake up one day and decide to let Shannon go. They waited until that lawsuit got sealed, until things cooled off legally, maybe even so he couldn't start talking too loud while still cashing their checks. Sources behind the scenes are saying Shannon had already been asking the hard questions. Who gets protected at ESPN and who gets thrown under the bus? And once he started poking around, things got uncomfortable. None of this is confirmed, but the whispers, straight up wild. Allegedly, Shannon started noticing black analysts being quietly replaced by safe faces, execs moving shady around women, scandals getting covered up before the public even got a whiff. This man wasn't just showing up to smile for the camera. He was in the back rooms, the negotiation tables, watching how the real machine moved. He saw producers kill entire segments the second things got too real. Censorship in real time. And here's the part that had fans seriously side-eyeing. When that lawsuit dropped, everybody expected Stephen A. Smith to have Shannon's back. But instead, Stephen A. gave the most dry, robotic, PR-approved response imaginable. Like he was reading off a script, like someone handed him the words and said, "Stick to this or else." That's the moment Shannon realized nobody at ESPN was going to go to bat for him. Not one person was willing to stick their neck out. But here's the plot twist. He didn't even need them. Club Shay Shay already pulling millions of views on its own. Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco going crazy viral, and the word on the street, Shannon had a $100 million podcast deal sitting on the table before that lawsuit even popped off. YouTube and Amazon have both been sniffing around, looking to lock him in. This man's brand is in high demand. ESPN's biggest fear? That Shannon decides to open the vault and spill everything. Because insiders say he's been in the private rooms, heard the hush-hush convos, and seen the real mess. The kind of stuff they do anything to keep buried, from alleged racial bias to execs involved in scandals that never made it past the office walls. If Shannon ever goes public, woo, it's a wrap. And guess what? Rumors are already swirling that Shannon's thinking about launching his own black-owned sports media empire, one that mixes sports talk, culture, and chaos with full creative control. That means ESPN could end up having to compete against the same man they tried to quietly erase from the industry. Yeah, the lawsuit might be over now, but the smoke, it's just beginning. And now that Shannon's free from ESPN's grip, he's not waiting for their mic. He's got his own, and the people are listening. And so if you're into the real tea, unfiltered takes and bold stories they don't want told, make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with your crew. Trust you won't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.
Here's the final stop of the day. We took the wines through the line, started over there. My last stop of the day. We got up early, had a late night.
That Shannon Sharpe called me trying to do an interview. I said, "No, Medea, I ain't doing no interview." So you can sit across from me and look at me. I'll sit down, nigga.
And Club Shay Shay. Yeah, Shay Shay. Gang gang. That nigga sitting there with them tight pants on.
Sports legend turned media powerhouse Shannon Sharpe has been riding high ever since he hung up his NFL cleats. But the spotlight comes with shadows. His football legacy was cemented years ago after a record-breaking career. But lately, it's his media rise that's been making just as much noise. And not all of it is pretty. Sharpe, now 56, was once the underdog of the league, drafted in the 7th round of the 1990 NFL draft out of Savannah State. At the time, nobody expected the skinny wideout to make history. Yet he became only the second player ever drafted from the HBCU, following in the footsteps of running back Ken Dawson back in 1981. Against all odds, he carved out a Hall of Fame-worthy career with the Denver Broncos. But while his talent on the field has never been questioned, the whispers about how he climbed so fast in broadcasting are now getting louder, and they're controversial. Some are pushing wild claims that Shannon didn't just succeed on talent alone, but supposedly played into Hollywood politics to lock down the opportunities he enjoys today. These kinds of rumors have been floating for months, but they exploded earlier this year when comedian Mike Epps put Sharpe on blast in a way nobody saw coming. In February, footage from one of Epps' comedy shows hit social media, and it went viral fast. On stage, the comedian roasted Sharpe by implying he was gay, and claimed he even turned down an invite to appear on Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast. Shannon Sharpe called me trying to do an interview, Epps told the laughing crowd. I said, "No, Medea, I ain't doing no interview with you. So you can sit across from me and look at my..." Before the crowd erupted in shock.
That nigga Shannon Sharpe called me trying to do an interview. I said, "No, Medea, I ain't doing no interview with you. So you can sit across from me and look at my balls. I'll sit down, nigga."
Epps didn't stop there. He doubled down with a savage punchline, telling the audience, the show is called Shay Shay. The man is telling you, put a wig on him and tell me that ain't Medea's sister. The crowd went wild and the clip spread like wildfire online. Sharpe wasn't about to take that quietly. Just days later, he clapped back hard on his Nightcap podcast with Chad Ochocinco Johnson. While Sharpe didn't say Epps' name directly, he made it crystal clear who he was talking about. even hinting that he had the comedian's DMs and was ready to leak them if he had to.
Wait, elephant?
Everybody want
what happened?
The Mike Epps situation.
Oh, yeah, Mike, I heard what you said.
Mention my name again, and I'm dropping the DMs. That's exactly how Shannon Sharpe fired back during his nightcap broadcast, and the man wasn't smiling when he said it. The 56-year-old flat out accused Mike Epps of lying and made it clear he doesn't like playing dirty, but if pushed, he's ready to hit the nuclear button. Sharpe refused to entertain the part where Epps insinuated he was gay, brushing it off like it didn't bother him. But he doubled down on protecting his reputation. I don't care about all that other stuff. You can say I'm gay. I don't care about that, Sharpe insisted. But I won't let you lie on my name. Say my name again, and I'm releasing the DMs because you are lying. That line shook fans because it meant Shannon was dead serious about exposing private receipts if Epps tried him again. He then turned up the heat, blasting Epps for claiming he begged him to appear on Club Shay Shay. Sharpe shot back. You said I reached out to you, and you are a lie. Now when I see you, we'll find out if you're about that life. We'll see if you say the same thing face to face. It came off like a veiled threat, and people instantly started debating if these two would actually clash in real life. And this drama comes right after Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast broke the internet with his legendary sit-down with Cat Williams, the viral episode that had comedians shaking in their boots. That interview pulled in tens of millions of views as Cat tore into some of comedy's biggest names, leaving a lot of bruised egos behind. Since then, Shannon has been both praised and dragged. Praised for giving stars a platform to keep it real, but dragged by comedians who think he's stirring too much chaos. The backlash hasn't slowed him down, though. After hosting Cat Williams and Monique in 2 explosive episodes where both stars aired out Hollywood's dirty laundry, Sharpe has become the go-to guy for raw, unfiltered interviews, but that spotlight also made him a target. Comedians like Mike Epps and Eddie Griffin have been clowning him on stage, leaning into jokes about his sexuality as their way of striking back. Sharpe addressed it head-on during Nightcap, brushing off the recycled punchlines. At some point, it's gonna get old. People are gonna get tired of y'all saying Shannon gay this, Shannon gay that, and you're gonna have to get back to telling real jokes. Please tell me you're not running out of material, he snapped, daring his critics to step up their game, but the jokes didn't stop. Eddie Griffin recently went viral for roasting Sharpe during one of his sets, renaming the show Club Gay Gay. He told the crowd, I don't care, sitting there in them tight pants with his stuff all up in Cat's face, and Cat looking the other way. You can tell how that man drinks, he is gay. That dude had it written all over him.
And Club Shay Shay. Yeah, Shay Shay. Yeah. Gay gay. That there with them tight pants on.
The audience gasped, but Griffin only pushed harder, saying he and Cat were the last two who ain't put on a dress in comedy and even pitched a no-dress tour as the hottest show in town. This feud is turning into a circus, with every comedian trying to score laughs at Shannon's expense. But Sharpe doesn't look like he's backing down anytime soon. Shannon Sharpe's fans swear his success is drawing nothing but envy from folks who should be his peers, and the jealousy is spilling into the comedy world in messy ways. One of the loudest voices keeping the Sharpe is gay narrative alive has been comedian Corey Holcomb, who went on a 5-minute rant back in March during his spot on the 5,150 show. Holcomb started off by taking wild shots at actor Lil Rel Howery, clowning him for proposing to his fiancée at Beyoncé's Renaissance tour, accusing him of buying a bee just to make it happen. The crowd was stunned.
Shannon Sharpe, you had Cat on your podcast. You was with Cat. That's why all them motherfuckers ain't with you.
But Holcomb wasn't done. His next target was Shannon Sharpe. Leaning into a comment from one of the show's hosts, Holcomb accused Sharpe of being caught up in what he called gay traps and mocked him for supposedly booking fruity guests on Club Shay Shay. It was a straight-up roast session, and social media lit up with reactions, but Holcomb wasn't the only one throwing shade. Former NFL star Antonio Brown also came for Sharpe using a rainbow reference in one of his many online rants. It started when Brown got heated over Sharpe's criticism of Lamar Jackson. Instead of firing back with football talk, AB went off the rails, blasting Sharpe's character and even mocking his liquor brand, La Porte Cognac, which Sharpe created to honor his grandmother. What should have been a positive moment turned ugly fast as Brown's words overshadowed the launch and raised eyebrows about why he even brought Sharpe up. And AB didn't stop there. On social media, he started posting memes and bizarre insults about Shannon. In one post, he mocked a workout ball Sharpe used, claiming it looked like part of the reproductive system. In another, he suggested Sharpe was cooking up his favorite homemade recipe, attaching an image of an adult toy boiling in a pot. Fans were confused, some laughing, others straight up asking, "What did Shannon even do to you?" Brown never answered, just kept doubling down. This wasn't even the first time Brown tried to drag Sharpe. Just 2 months earlier, he reposted a viral video of Sharpe and slapped on hashtags suggesting Sharpe was rainbow and even hinting at steroid use. For many, this was classic AB, a man known for stirring the pot with wild claims, from accusing Julian Edelman and J.J. Watt of using steroids to firing shots at his former teammate Tom Brady. But the attacks on Shannon Sharpe felt especially personal, and a lot of people are starting to question AB's mental state. The gay drama, as fans online are calling it, has gotten so big that even UFC president Dana White ended up touching on it when he appeared on Club Shay Shay. At one point, Sharpe asked him directly, "Do you ever worry about getting canceled?" Dana's reply was cold and confident. Canceled? By who? What does that even mean? He compared cancel culture today to what it felt like to come out as gay back in the 1980s, suggesting that both carried a stigma, but neither could stop you if you had the right people riding with you. That moment had fans buzzing because it showed how far the chatter around Shannon has spread. From comedians to athletes to moguls like Dana White, everybody seems to have something to say about him, and it's keeping his name hotter than ever. Outside of the people I actually care about, I could care less, Dana White told Shannon Sharpe during their Club Shay Shay sit-down.
Do you ever worry about getting canceled, Dana?
What does that mean, actually? Canceled. Canceled by who?
And then he went all in with a wild comparison that shocked the internet. White claimed the backlash he gets in business reminds him of being gay in the 1980s. Think about this, he said. Back then, if you came out, it could destroy your career. Imagine living a life where you can't be who you really are. It's got to be horrible, right? Forget that. I am who I am. If you like it, cool. If you don't, that's your problem. The UFC boss didn't stop there. He also addressed his own controversies, including the New Year's Eve 2022 scandal when he was caught on video slapping his wife twice during an argument in a nightclub. Despite admitting to it, White insists he isn't fazed by public criticism. There's always gonna be people who like me and people who don't, no matter what, he shrugged. But critics were quick to point out that comparing his struggles to what queer entertainers went through decades ago was out of touch and flat out offensive, and then he got heated over Peloton. White went on a tirade about how the fitness company allegedly pressured comedian Theo Von to take down a podcast episode featuring Robert F. Kennedy Jr. What? He's a Kennedy's and a Democrat. White shouted, "You sell stationary bikes for a living and you think you can tell Theo who he can and can't interview? Who the hell do you think you are? You arrogant piece of trash." His rant went viral, especially since Kennedy is actually an independent now, not a Democrat. White later clarified that he wasn't trying to cancel Peloton, but he still yanked their products from UFC gyms. This rant added White to a growing list of older male celebs lashing out at cancel culture. Just recently, Jerry Seinfeld said he misses dominant masculinity while bashing PC crap and the extreme left, sparking backlash of his own. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, his Seinfeld co-star, didn't hesitate to clap back, saying she strongly disagreed with his remarks. The divide between old-school Hollywood voices and modern-day expectations is clearer than ever. And now Shannon Sharpe is stuck right in the middle of it. Since Sharpe's explosive Cat Williams interview dropped, he's been dragged into all kinds of narratives he never signed up for. The sit-down went mega viral, with Cat torching some of the biggest names in comedy, but it also painted a target on Sharpe's back. The gossip has been nonstop. Some people are calling him gay, others are labeling him a Hollywood Wendy Williams, and all of it has weighed heavily on him. "Have you not seen the media?" Sharpe told The Hollywood Reporter when asked about the backlash. "Now all of a sudden, since Cat did the interview, I'm gay. Since Cat did the interview, I'm Wendy Williams. I'm a gossip columnist. Cat warned me," he said, "be prepared because it's going to come." Sharpe admitted the whole experience blindsided him. "When I played sports, I expected opposing fans to boo me, but in Hollywood, I had no idea it would be like this. I'd be lying if I told you I saw this coming." The man went from NFL greatness to internet lightning rod overnight, and it's leaving him caught in a storm he never thought he'd face. Shannon Sharpe spent 14 seasons in the NFL, mostly dominating with the Denver Broncos. But these days, he's just as famous for sparring with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's First Take and running his hit podcast Club Shay Shay. Still, beneath all the success, Sharpe admits one thing has gotten under his skin more than anything else: being constantly labeled gay. When you question a straight man's identity over and over, it starts to hit different, he told The Hollywood Reporter. Social media is powerful. We literally had a guy make it all the way to the White House in 2016 just by repeating lies over and over until people believed them. That's how rumors spread. If you say it enough, people start treating it like fact, even if it's not. Sharpe didn't mince words about the so-called jokes floating around. It's not okay to call somebody gay when they're not. I don't care if you try to wrap it up as humor, envy, jealousy, whatever it is, it's not cool, he said firmly. Then he clarified, I don't have anything against gay people. To each his own. Whatever you choose to do, that's your life. But when you lie on me, that's a problem. And the timing of all this noise couldn't be wilder. His now iconic Cat Williams interview didn't just break the internet, it smashed records. The fiery 3-hour sit-down has racked up more than 68 million views on YouTube, officially surpassing Joe Rogan's chat with Elon Musk as the platform's most watched interview of all time. The world can't stop talking about the moment Cat unloaded on the comedy world, and Sharpe is right there in the middle of it all. The spotlight has never been hotter. Sharpe admits he's juggling a breakneck schedule, shooting anywhere from 7 to 10 interviews a week. It's hard to turn my brain off. There's just so much going on, he explained. And the hustle is paying off big time. Since Sharpe joined First Take twice a week last September, the show's numbers have surged, pulling in nearly 500,000 viewers an episode. Meanwhile, Undisputed, the Fox Sports show he left in June 2023 after his split with Skip Bayless, has been bleeding viewers, dropping to just 45,000 in April. The contrast is brutal. Stephen A. Smith made it clear who deserves the credit. There is no question that Shannon has brought incredible value to this franchise, he said. I make sure ESPN knows it because he deserves that appreciation. And Sharpe himself, he's well aware of the moment he's in. I'm bigger now than at any point in my career, he admitted. I'm 10 times what I was. I won Super Bowls. I'm in the Hall of Fame, but I've never been as big as I am right now. Before the Cat Williams interview, Sharpe wasn't bragging about his reach like this, but breaking the internet has made him a household name forever tied to Cat's no-holds-barred roasting session. The episode itself was pure chaos. 3 hours of cognac-fueled fireworks filmed by a roaring fireplace inside the Wellsbourne, a British-style pub in West LA that doubles as Sharpe's studio. And in case you didn't know, Club Shay Shay got its name from the Players Lounge Sharpe and his Broncos teammates used to hang out in, a spot where dice games, card battles, and late-night trash talk set the tone for his entire career. Back in the early 2000s, comedy came swinging with an axe, and Cat Williams was the one holding it. When he sat down on Club Shay Shay, he showed up ready to burn the whole house down, and he didn't hold back. His firestorm started when he called out Ricky Smiley, shutting down a story Smiley had told on the podcast a year earlier about swapping roles with Cat in Friday After Next. Lies, Cat snapped, and that was only the opening punch. From there, Williams went scorched earth on almost every big name in comedy. He said Ricky Smiley, just like Tyler Perry, couldn't act unless he was dressed as a woman. He called Earthquake illiterate. He accused Steve Harvey of faking his whole homeless past and said he wasn't even funny. Then he took aim at Cedric the Entertainer, accusing him of stealing jokes, and roasted him even harder by calling the barbershop star a walrus who can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't even write his own material. And Williams wasn't finished. He claimed Ludacris watered down his music to please the Illuminati, and he blasted Kevin Hart for snatching up a long list of movie roles that Cat says were originally his. It was pure chaos. One name after another, one bombshell after the next. Shannon Sharpe sat there stunned, but also realizing history was being made in real time. I thought maybe 10 to 15 million views, and that'd be huge, Sharpe later recalled. But when the cameras stopped rolling, even his producer was wide-eyed. Shannon, this is going to blow up the internet, he warned, and he was right. Within 2 months, the interview had already racked up 63 million views on YouTube, plus another 1.7 million downloads on audio platforms. It became one of the most viral interviews in history. Sharpe didn't just get clout, he got paid, with ads dropping every 4 minutes during the